Hello there. This is Shrey once again from 360. In today's video, we will be showing you how to create a website for your small business using the 360 website builder. On the last video, we were able to create an account, so we're going to use that account today. So to do that, let's proceed to the login section of the website. Then our email is there already on the password, so we hit the login button. This will take us to our dashboard. Okay, so here we are. Now we got the project. You have not created any project yet. So we're going to be creating a new project today. We don't need to go through the dashboard anymore. We did that on the last video. If you didn't watch that, you can always, reference back to that video. So we're going to click um, a new project here. Now we are taken to the screen where we see a lot of templates that we can choose from for our project. So I'm going to be creating a personal website for myself. So I'm going to use a template that looks like that. There's something like this where we have pillar for maybe a CV or your personal website. And we also have another one here, Clarence Taylor. We also have Stanley. So I will be using Stanley for this tutorial. So now I'm going to put Christian Simon, then create. Okay, project has been created. Now the builder is being loaded. So you see here by the right hand side, we have the preview of our project. And on the left hand side, we have the work area where you see the component, the layout, the media, typography, buttons, forms, etc. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is first get to understand these different components before we start working. So first, let's look at the layout. On the layout side, we have the different containers. We have container one, which is the header section. We have container two. If you pay a little bit attention, you'll see that whenever I hover my mouse on any of the container on the output area, the contents are being highlighted. For instance, here is the container 2. Then the container 3 is down here. This is the container 3. Then if you go down further, you see the container 4, which is this guy around the footer axis. Then lastly, the container 5. So this makes everything easier for you to understand what you're editing and the structure, the entire structure of the site. So after that, we're going to be heading to the element. Now, the element section gives you different components to use on your project. This will be more useful if you're building your project from scratch. Because here, under components, you see progress bar, list group, card, image header, jumbotron, material box, navbar, and so on and so forth. Even you have a pricing table here. You have service list, skill list, user profile. Then on the layout, you see a divider, a div container, a container, a row, alert, and so on and so forth. Then if you head down to media, you see image, so you can add an image, you know, you see responsive video, image grid, media object, and so on and so forth. Then you go to typography, you can see paragraph, mark text, definition list, block quote, heading, there are a lot of them. Then buttons, you can add different types of buttons, buttons toolbar, buttons group, and just a basic button. Then forms, if you want to add form to your site, the input field, the text area, the checkbox, input group, form group, select, and so on and so forth. So now that's that for the elements. So for instance, I don't want to, get my project dirty, but I will show you how to use this element when I'm doing a video tutorial for a project you're doing from scratch. So now let's go to the inspector. Now nothing is selected. Click on any element on the right to inspect and modify it. Okay, so now let's click on this guy, for instance. Now, when you click a particular, element, you now have the inspector highlights the different things for you, the attributes. H1, it shows you that the attribute is shown that the position is none, the ID has no ID, and the class, it has no class. So you can modify them, add things there to the attribute. It also shows you the background. There's no background, shadow. It gives you the distance, the blur. So it gives basically what it basically does is gives you the attribute of that particular element. The padding here, it shows you the padding. The margin shows you the margin. Then the text style, the font, the weight, and all that. So you see, you can use this to inspect an element and get more details about that element and also even modify it. Then we're going to go to the pages section. Now, the pages section shows you the different pages that you have on this project, on this template. So now from here, you see active pages, the index page is the current page that we are now, that we're currently working on. I can easily duplicate this page, to form another page if I so wish to. Then when you click here, you see that apart from the index page, we have other pages. We have the about, we have the blog, we have the blog 01, we have the contact, and we have the work and the work 01. I don't know if you're seeing this, but we have a lot of other pages here. So if you want to edit another page by selecting it here, for instance, let me select the about page. You see from this area here, it changes from the home page to the about page. And on the about page, you can see about Stanley. Hello, everybody. I'm Stanley, a free hands-on bootstrap team coded by whatever, whatever. Now you go down here, you see more details about the bat. So I can go ahead and change the page here to the contact page too. You see, the builder will load up my contact page. So I can basically switch from page to page, then edit them or work on them from this, area. Now, there are other things you can do for a page. Let me go back to the index page. Now, you see this page, apart from editing it, I can also work on their SEO. The full meaning of SEO is search engine optimization. So basically, you're trying to optimize your page, write things well so that the search engine can display the pages well and can be friendly and all that. So here, my page SEO options, I can put the page name, the title, the description, and some keywords that, tells the search engine what my page is really all about. Then I can update it. Okay, the last but not the least in this work area is the settings. Now on the settings, you see here the name, the template. From here, you can easily change the template. Project setting, the template is Stanley. So you click change. It will give you the option to be able to select other template amongst the templates that are there on the platform. But we're not doing that. We don't want to change our templates. We like what we're using now. Another thing here is the builder settings, auto save. This automatically saves your project while you're working on them. You don't really need to go and click the save button, save anytime you're working. So the second one is the hover box, toggle visibility of box that appears when hovering over element in the builder. Then the last one is the selected box. So these ones are basically, you know, the last settings that we're going to be looking at before we look at the preview, the download, the publish, the change device, and the save project. Now, without having to explain that, I believe everyone will understand what those things do. If you click on preview here, it loads up your project and shows you how it looks like on the front end. Then download here, if I click on download, it actually downloads the project in an archived, it archives it and download it. Okay, it's downloaded here, 2 point something MB. So that's if you want to maybe deploy the page elsewhere. Then this is where you publish your project, and this is where you change the device screen. Like I want to see how this project looks like on a mobile phone. I click here, phone, so it shows you how it looks like on a phone. I want to see how this project looks like, and so on and so forth. Then this is basically where you save your project as you're working on them. Okay, so since we've been able to go around as the project, the builder, to get to know how each and every one of the elements and the layout and the inspector works, let's go back to, you know, editing. This is the mobile device because I changed the screen from the mobile, from the PC view, desktop view to the phone view. So I'm going to have to return that back to this view. Then we will save a project then go back to do some editing. So now I want to edit the first container. When I did the first container, this Stanley. So I'm going to change this from Stanley to my name. So for me to do that, I will click on this. Hi, I'm Stanley. So Stanley here can change to Hi, I'm Christian. So see, we have Christian there and my project is being saved. So I can also change any of the text here and the picture here by clicking on this, and it loads me up to pick up a particular picture that I want to use. So let's say I'm using this. So that's going to load up and replace the original picture that was there. So the last thing I will want us to know, now you see this picture is very big, bigger than what was there. That's why I talked about making sure that the picture you want to use is something, you know, the size of what is already there. But you can always resize it. You can always resize it, drag it and all that. So, but that wouldn't be what I'll be doing now. The last thing I'll be showing you here is the code work area. Now, let's assume I don't want to work visually. I have a little knowledge of HTML, CSS, and all that. I can easily, switch to the code mode and edit my project. So now let's see how we can edit our project in the code mode before we finally go back to our dashboard. So this is it here, the code editor. So if I click on this, it brings out the page in a code mode. So I can change things here. It said this is the about page. It said about Stanley. So I could say about Christian. So now once I do that, I go back. You see, it's no more about Stanley. It's now about Christian on the about page. Now this place said Lorem Ipsum is simply dummy text of the printing and typesetting industry. So I'm going to change this using the code editor. So let's go back to the code editor. Then I'm going to locate that. Another easier way to easily find that spot what you're trying to do is to use the control F and then type exactly what you want to you're looking for there. Maybe you copy it, you select it and copy it and just paste it here. So I could just type the run ipsum, then it will highlight it and bring them out. So at this point, I could say I write a lot of books and I want you to read my books and see the beauty in life. So let's go back to our visual view. You can easily click the code editor that does the switch, or you can easily click the X button here that close the editor, but I prefer using this way. So you see, I read lots of books and I want you to read my books and see the beauty of life. It's no more lorem ipsum. So you can easily, sometimes it's more, convenient, it's more easier, it's more, stress-free editing from the code editor. That's if you're okay with CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. But if you're a novice, you don't really know much about those things, you can always, use the visual editor and it's still the same thing. You can click here and highlight and type. So from this place, you can still do the same thing and you get the same result. So that will be all for now. Like I said, if you have any problem, you can always click the chat button and reach out to someone to assist you, to guide you, to point you into the right direction to get your stuff done. So we're going to go back to our dashboard. But before then, I want us to check the project to see how it looks like on the front end. So now this is a dashboard. If you can see, I have my project here, Christian Simon. Now, if you look at the URL, 360.com/site/slash Christian Simon, this is how you can view your site. This is how you can view your site for now till you connect a domain and map it. So if you see here, this is how it looks like from the front end. Hi, I'm Christian Simon. So you see the different area. I could now go to the about. I think we worked on the about page too. We did some editing there. Okay, it's showing 4 not found. Why that is showing 4 not found is because of how I loaded it up. So my site here was Christian Simon, so it's gonna be slash about dot html. So that should bring up the site. Okay, this is my about page. You see, we have the about Christian. Then we also have these things we did. I write a lot of books and I want you to read my books and see the beauty in life. I want to code the best website for my users. So you can scroll down here. Okay, so that will be all for now. In our next video, we're still going to go deep into other stuff, maybe how to connect a domain so your website will be accessed using your domain name instead of 360.com.ng/site/ the name of your site. And I will be expecting you to stay tuned and for that video. Thanks so much. Bye.